How big a test for you and your team here tonight?
Well, we're playing against one of the top sides in France, and French football is very strong at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be a big test, but, we're confident in our own ability. So we're hoping that it's going to be a big test for Lyon also.
Is this a big jump in class in terms of opposition between Hapoel and Lyon?
Well, Hapoel are on a bad side, so we shouldn't belittle Hapoel to say so. So I don't think it's a big jump in class, but of course, I think that they have quality individuals who can turn a game. Probably more quality individuals than Hapoel. But as I said, we've also got some good players, so, I don't think that the gap between the two teams is big at all.
You've had a look at the pitch, it's quite soft. Does that affect what you're going to be able to do tonight?
No, because although it's soft, as you can see, the pitch is perfect. It's a lovely playing surface, so it may be soft on the foot, but there's a bit of grass on it, and the way that we want to play our quick passing game, hopefully that this will suit us.
What's the main thought that you'll leave in the players' minds when they leave the dressing room tonight?
Well, concentration from the defenders, because while I don't expect Lyon to bombard us with a lot of attacks because they don't play that way, the players that they have are very, very dangerous. So although I don't think they'll come under a lot of pressure, whatever little pressure they come under, they have to be concentrated because it'll cost us a goal. So that's from a defensive point of view. And from an attacking point of view, just remember the things that we do well when we attack. If you look at the way we played against Aberdeen, you look at our attacking play. Because it's Lyon and because it's now, if you want to say, a step up in class, doesn't mean that we can't continue to play that way. So when we're in possession, we have to do what we do.
Speaking to you in the last couple of weeks, it seems as if Dhorasoo is a player you've picked out as a potential danger to Celtic, and that a lot of the creativity of their side comes through him.
Well, he's their main creative player. Obviously, the goal-scoring threat comes from Anderson and Vairelles, but more Anderson. But the creative threat comes from Dhorasoo. So in many respects, if we can stop him, then hopefully Anderson won't get that many chances.
As you've said, you've got to be positive in it, and it's about what Celtic do tonight, because Celtic are on a great run of form, scoring goals, not losing too many. Yes,
but it's also about what we do defensively. Football is about attack and defence, and while we have to pay the respect to them because in possession they're very clever, obviously when we have the ball, we are looking to play our own game. But of course, when they have the ball, we have to look to try and stop them playing. So it's not just about what we do, it's also stopping them doing what they do.
It's shaping up to be a great atmosphere here, 3,500 Celtic fans, and this is where Celtic want to be, isn't it, on the big European stage?
Of course it is. If we're professing to be a big club with big players, international players, you look at a lot of our players going to European Championships, World Cup veterans, we should be playing at this stage and above. So I have no fears for the players freezing or not being able to play at all.
And from a Scottish perspective, it would be nice to think that Rangers, having done so well last night, could be followed by a good result for Celtic this evening.
Of course that'll be good for Scottish football, because I think too long has gone by whereby the top two teams in Scotland have been told that they're good in Scotland but not in Europe. And of course Rangers had a fantastic result, which shows that Scottish teams can compete in Europe, and hopefully we can continue that tonight.
Wish you well tonight, John. Thanks.
Thank you.
A huge test for Celtic in Lyon, about to get underway. Good evening, hello from the Stade de Gerland. which hosted 6 matches in the World Cup finals in France in 1998, including Iran's victory against the USA and Croatia's defeat of Germany in the quarter-finals. It's an impressive venue when we head outside, when the French director loses his initial obsession with the home-based players, and also with his obsession with Frenchman Olivier Tebily, born in the Ivory Coast but who took on French nationality. And a key man for Celtic tonight at the heart of the defence alongside Alan Stubbs, and Lubo Moravcik behind him, who spent 7 years in French football, and a lot of the French media interest has been centred on him. He played with Saint-Etienne, who are Lyon's deadly rivals, and he was a very influential player and a much loved player by the Saint-Etienne fans, but he made a few enemies in his time there as well, one of whom was Jacques Santini, who's now the director of football with Lyon. So it's an interesting little sideshow to this big match in the second round of the UEFA Cup. The Lyon fans hope their team can make significant inroads tonight into reaching the next phase of the competition, having knocked out HK Helsinki in the first round of the UEFA Cup by 6-1. That, of course, was after Lyon had failed in the Champions League qualifiers, comprehensively beaten by Maribor, the Slovenian team, 3-0. That was a big blow to Lyon's hopes of making a big show in Europe, having finished third in the French league last season. And now they hope for an extended run in the UEFA Cup competition. Currently second in the French league. That is Mr. Timmink, the Dutch referee in charge tonight. But last Friday night, Lyon beat Marseille in the Velodrome, and that was Marseille's first home defeat in 18 months. That tells you something about the quality of the opposition in Lyon. That put Lyon back to the top of the league, but Saturday's results have meant that Auxerre now are back in top spot, and Lyon in second place in the French league. Moravcik, an important man for Celtic tonight. He will be the hub of their creativity in the absence of Ayol Berkovic, and it's Johan Mjallby who comes in as a player replacement for Berkovic, but clearly he will fill a completely different role. Gordon.
There's no question of that, Rob. I think what you're going to find is that Mjallby will be sitting in midfield, and it'll allow them maybe to get Craig Burley a little bit more forward tonight. Craig Burley has been playing a holding role alongside Paul Lambert, because they have the two attacking midfield players to support the two front men in Larsson and Viduka. But tonight, Mjallby, I would imagine, will be sitting a bit more. They'll want to keep the midfield very, very tight, try and stop the supply going through to the danger of Vairelles and Anderson, who are excellent players, and Dhorasoo, who's a real playmaker. They'll want to tighten up on him. Maybe Mjallby may get that role. Paul Lambert may even get the role just to stop him in that midfield area. So Celtic certainly playing almost, you have to say, a 4-3-1-2 tonight. But they've got the firepower. We're talking about the front men that Lyon have, but Celtic certainly also have the firepower to get a vital away goal at least, and I think that they can do it.
So a big night for the second team in the Scottish Premier League against the second team in the French League. That's Sonny Anderson, wears number 9, the Brazilian, a French record transfer in the summer. £12 million Lyon paid to Barcelona for him, and he's already made a big impression. 7 goals this season, including 2 that beat Nantes recently, and the winner against Marseille away from home last weekend. Pathé, the filmmakers, have invested a lot of money here at Lyon. That's enabled them to pile in the money and invest in the team, and they've made big changes during the close season, and one of the reasons for that is they want a run in European football. It's a good start for Johan Mjallby, relieving Vikash Dhorasoo of possession. Now Tebily keeps cool, and it's Riseth at left back. The pass found its way through, skidded through to Mark Viduka. Craig Burley loses possession. Anderson tries to link up with Vairelles. Almost a bit over elaborate from Tebily. Celtic need to make the passes count early on, and I'm sure that's not the sort of display at the back from Tebily that John Barnes is looking for.
No, he's looked quite cool so far though, but taking chances isn't the sort of thing they want to do. But Celtic are trying to get the ball down and make passes, possession, and so far, they've looked okay in that regard.
Carteron at right back, and Jacek back, the Polish international, up ahead of him on the right side of midfield. He was a member of the Polish squad, just pipped by England for a place in the Euro 2000 finals, and back one of few regular internationals. In fact, he possibly the only one of this side who is currently a regular international player, the Pole. That was back winning the header. Anderson's layoff for Dhorasoo. Craig Burley firmly in to win it, and Riseth fails to keep the ball in, lost his footing, and a throw-in conceded. These all-important opening moments, composure a key word. The block was by Malbranque against Violeau, formerly an Auxerre player. Chested down by Vairelles, deflected on its way into the box, and headed away by Jackie McNamara. There's back the Pole, ex of Lech Poznan. Vairelles trying to escape the clutches of Johan Mjallby. Early ball in for Anderson. Tebily attacked it, and the ball from Violeau is not a problem for Celtic. Jonathan Gould. Between he and Dimitri Karin, Celtic have kept 8 consecutive clean sheets. It's 724 minutes since Celtic lost a goal. The header there was won by Delmotte. McNamara, Moravcik marauding around the midfield, a free roll in front of the midfield three of Lambert and Burley and Mjallby. A fairly crude challenge on Moravcik, gives Celtic a free kick. He'll be in for special attention tonight, no doubt about that. Lyon see him as the big threat in terms of creating chances, and they know all about the goal-scoring exploits of Larsson and Viduka. Here is Henrik Larsson, leaves it to Craig Burley. A good bursting run from midfield, and as Gordon indicated pre-kick-off, it looks as if Craig Burley will get more opportunities tonight than he has done in recent weeks to get into these sort of positions.
Yeah, he was the one to bust through. I thought he might have actually taken on the last man. It was going to be a difficult one to try and bend it round the defender with his left side, so I thought maybe he had built up a bit of momentum and might have just tried to push it into the box and force the defender maybe to put a tackle in. But Paul Lambert's definitely picking up Dhorasoo, as we mentioned. He's obviously the danger player, and John Barnes has decided just to use Paul Lambert in that marking role.
Strong play from Mark Viduka, and Celtic have another free kick. There was some pushing going on. I think Laville is penalised. The home support don't like it too much. Mark Viduka is clearly going to be a handful for him. Here's the set piece. Alan Stubbs up alongside Viduka and Larsson. In from Moravcik. Paul Lambert has it. Now Jackie McNamara. It needs a good ball in, drifted in, and very calmly headed back by Carteron to Coupet. Just cool defending. Riseth thumps the ball out of play after Dhorasoo struggled to get the ball under control. It is a difficult surface. It's taken a fair bit of rain. It's the ball liable to skid across the surface, and the pitch may well cut up as well as the evening goes on. Serge Blanc for Vairelles. Tony Vairelles again. £6 million from Lens during the summertime, and he and Anderson pose a real threat as Alan Stubbs dispossessed by Blanc, but the cross not troublesome.
Tough customer. Blanc he's already had a very strong challenge in Moravcik, and that time had the power and strength to knock Stubbs over, which is not an easy thing to do, and I think Alan Stubbs was looking for a foul there, taking a bit of a chance trying to dribble his way out from that position after doing well to rob Brechet.
Strong on the ball there was Riseth. Tebily cleared, and Mjallby tried to chest it down for Malbranque. Just over 6 minutes gone in the stadium, which was rebuilt for the World Cup of last summer, and 3,500 Celtic supporters have crossed the channel to give their team the best support they can muster. Larsson eased off it by Laigle. Burley competing for possession. Now Tony Vairelles in for Sonny Anderson. Can't get the ball under control. Tebily plays a short pass to Malbranque. Dhorasoo has lost it. Because Dhorasoo again, lovely footwork. In for Anderson. And the audacious attempt with the back heel. Well, this would have been some goal had the ball ended up in the back of the net.
Certainly would have been a lovely piece of skill there. I mean, didn't trouble Jonathan Gould at all, but see just there how he improvises the ball, just plays slightly behind him there. Such careful at some of the times with passing on the edge of the box, because they're losing possession areas that allow it very quickly to pick the ball up and come against them.
Apologies for Gordon's loose wire. We'll get that sorted hopefully as soon as possible. Big Burley had to move it quickly when he's been shut down in the central midfield area. McNamara's pass forwards, cut out by Serge Blanc, formerly of Montpellier and Marseille, and we've seen already a tough customer. It's 16 years since Celtic last reached the third round of a European competition. As far as they and their supporters feel, it's been far too long. And of course Scottish football in general has a great interest in the outcome here tonight. Rangers doing great things in the Champions League, and if Celtic can put a UEFA Cup run together, things improve for Scotland as a nation. A header from back, down to Vairelles. He's switched from left to right, in for Violeau. The shot angled across goal. Didn't really get too much power on it. He takes up some interesting positions from the midfield, Violeau. And Jonathan Gould was watchful here as the ball passed across the face of the goal mouth. Claiming a corner kick. No joy for Violeau. Gould's kick out aimed at Viduka, got the head flick to it. And Larsson trying to find a hole in the middle of the Lyon defence. That was Brechet, the 20-year-old. Now Viduka has come back deep to pick up possession. Mjallby, poor pass forward, intended for his fellow countryman Larsson. Back to Carteron. Vairelles. Mjallby's challenge, not enough. Vairelles again. Tebily gets it clear, but offside in any case. The flag was up against Carteron, the right back, who darted into the box.
Yeah, he was offside. Nice little bit of play, but it came again from, Celtic just giving away possession in that midfield area. It was unlucky from Mjallby, though he did try to play a first-time ball through to Larsson. After that, Celtic were always chasing the ball. Vairelles and Anderson link up very well at times, always looking for each other.
Again, Viduka's head flick, and Henrik Larsson thought he might have had a free kick just a few yards outside the area. Took a tumble as he tried to benefit from the service provided by his Australian strike partner. And they've had quite some start to the season. 23 goals already between them, Larsson and Viduka, and scoring them in pretty quick time. Tebily works it forward from Mjallby. Viduka loses it. Now Sonny Anderson escapes the Lambert tackle, but not a follow-up one from Tebily. It's for Viduka, and judged to have nudged Laigle off the ball before he won possession. chance for Blanc. Quick control. Back goes Larsson to make the challenge. And it looked as if Henrik Larsson suffered as he moved in for the challenge. Immediately the stretcher on the pitch, and in fact Henrik Larsson looks as if he is in big trouble.
Yeah, I thought it was a head knock at first, the way that the player fell on top of him. I think as he came through there, Blanc just landed in his head, but also I think his studs just caught underneath him. You can see here his trailing foot there, his left foot just got caught in the grass, and although he fell on top of him, it definitely
it's a broken leg, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah, it did look bad.
It's, yep. And tragedy strikes for Henrik Larsson and for Celtic. Sickening pictures to watch there, and not much doubt that Henrik Larsson has fractured his leg there. And
yeah, it's one of the most unfortunate things that happens. You see it so often. It's never a tackle that when you get the worst injuries like that, his studs just caught on the ground as he's running, and he's fallen over and then just snapped his leg there. Real tragedy from Celtic's point of view, and such a shame for Henrik Larsson, such a good player, something like that to happen to him in a game of this importance.
Such an innocuous way, Gordon, to break your leg.
Yeah, as I said, you see it happen as often. Sometimes the tackles players get into, you think there'll be something bad arising from the challenge, but on that occasion there, it's just purely the way that his foot's caught underneath him. His momentum's taken him beyond the position where his leg has pushed it too far, and you can quite clearly just see it protrude through his stocking there. As I say, it's a bad one.
And your automatic feeling is one of sadness for Henrik Larsson, and he's in absolute agony down there as he's put on the stretcher. And from a team point of view, John Barnes has to reorganise tactically and also hope that his players can get their minds off that and get on with the game. It's a sickening moment. Harold Bratt back on the field to help Henrik Larsson off along with Brian Scott as Mark Burchill comes on as a substitute. And what a shattering moment that is. Less than 14 minutes gone. The free kick deflected away, and what Celtic have to do here is keep their concentration. The next couple of minutes could be crucial. In from Anderson, headed away by Tebily. Turned back by Viduka. Long chase for Burchill. Coupet's throw to Blanc. Vairelles got the better of Tebily, but Riseth nods it back.
You say, Rob, it's very important they do keep their concentration. The players will know exactly the situation. They'll be a bit upset about what's happened to Henrik Larsson, but they've just got to carry on and keep their composure.
And Viduka works it through for Mark Burchill. Immediately a chance for Celtic. Ended up shooting from a wide position, but that was very, very promising, and immediately the partnership between Viduka and Burchill promises much.
Yeah, I think it was also one of those scenarios when he might have just been better hitting it first time. He made his first touch and he got clear, and he was at a better angle. As soon as he took a second touch, he's taking it wide and he's closing down his chances of scoring. And it was a very, very good break, though. That's very capable of doing that, Mark Burchill, making those good runs just in behind defenders. He'll certainly make Lyon work hard in order to try and stop him, and it might force them back a little bit, knowing that his pace is on there to trouble them.
Tebily, very cool in possession, but sometimes the heartbeats of the Celtic supporters can stop for a brief split second as Tebily attempts little bits of skill outside his own penalty box. Mark Viduka rising to the challenge of what is in front of Celtic here without Henrik Larsson. He's had an impressive couple of minutes since Larsson was stretchered off, and Viduka now accepts responsibility as the senior partner in the strike force alongside Burchill. Dhorasoo makes a break. Cross goes Tebily, and handles that very well indeed. Put his body, but it was difficult for Dhorasoo. One possession back for Celtic. Now it's lost again. Back. Carteron on the overlap. And a corner kick conceded. Again, it's Tebily. He's getting through a lot of work. He had to make the challenge there, and Jonathan Gould with a corner kick to defend.
He's done well in the early part of the game, Tebily. He's made some important interceptions. His pass has been pretty good. Always liable just to maybe lose concentration at times, but he's started the game very well.
Sonny Anderson waiting for the corner kick. The header was won by Laigle. Celtic get it clear. And back from Jérémy Brechet to Gregory Coupet, the keeper. Serge Blanc, that will skid away from Christophe Delmotte. And Craig Burley happy to let it run. Playing surface a big factor here. Passes have to be to feet, otherwise they'll skid away from their target. If you've just joined us, Henrik Larsson has been stretchered off for Celtic with a broken leg. Mark Burchill is on. McNamara for Lubo Moravcik. John Barnes was talking intently to Moravcik while Larsson was being taken off, and a yellow card is shown to Moravcik for a late challenge. And of course yellow cards can tot up as this tournament progresses, and that looked like a fairly justified booking as well for the late challenge. Clumsy it was on Blanc.
Yeah, it's a typical sort of forwards challenge, you have to say there. Just coming in a bit late. Blanc had robbed him in the touchline just before that, and I think a little bit of frustration creeps in. It might be an old feud, we don't even know about that from Moravcik's time in French football, but he certainly went in with a late one there and caught him on his trailing leg after he played the ball away.
.18 minutes gone in the Stade de Gerland, and 0-0. Delmotte, Belgian born but a French B international, brushed aside by Burley. Too pacey though, the ball through for Burchill. Coupet, Brechet, Laigle. Patient passing game from Lyon, no cavalry charge from them. John Barnes has watched them a couple of times and knows how they play it. Here's Blanc, deflected towards Anderson. Now Paul Lambert demanding the ball, and Jackie McNamara threatened to take it away from him. Stubbs plays it first time. Back it goes from Brechet. Duca was threatening. Celtic working hard at closing down space. Dhorasoo's touch intended for Anderson, not there to receive it. Back from Duca. Lambert looking for support. No way forward for Alan Stubbs, so back it goes to Tebily. Stubbs now will try again. Disappointing ball forward. Blanc in the way. McNamara. Burchill. Controlled by Viduka. Did well there, it was a good touch. Lambert sweeps it out to Moravcik. Jeered by the crowd. It's a dangerous pass aimed at Paul Lambert. Vairelles on his own in attack for Lyon, and again it was the strength of Tebily. He stood up to Vairelles. The French fans reckon that was obstruction. The referee wasn't interested in the claim.
Yeah, it was good pace and strength again from Tebily. I think Moravcik has been disappointing this early part of the game. I think Celtic really looking for him as a spare man. He doesn't have much of a responsibility in terms of defending. He's got to be the man that's creating things for them and keeping possession and getting them out. But he's given the ball away quite a few times so far, and that's an area that Celtic need to improve on if they're going to get a few more attacks and create openings.
Possession picked up by Jacek, back for Paul. Forward for Sonny Anderson, missed by Tebily. Tries to get turned Anderson, the back heel intended for Vairelles. Celtic escape, and it is an escape because that was an error by Tebily, and with Anderson around you don't want to make too many of those. Celtic now have the ball out of the danger area. A warning, as if such was needed. Celtic must be very definite about everything they're doing in the defensive area. And Delmotte is the Lyon player down, and that's a booking for Craig Burley for what certainly looked to be a heavy challenge.
Yeah, it was a reckless challenge as well. I don't think he was going anywhere. I don't think it was a tackle that really needed to be made. You can see here that he stopped on the touchline. Alan Stubbs is making him go back the way. Craig Burley comes in very late, not really required, and he's got a yellow card, and I think that deservedly so.
Another referee might well have red carded him for that. That was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's possible. That some referees would have, but obviously Dutch referee used to, the football over there is generally quite hard. People do go into tackles. Maybe some of the South American type of referee, or even Latin Europe country, Italy or Spain, might have given that, but you have to say that Craig Burley is a lucky man now to stay in the field.
Serge Blanc with the free kick, headed away, Violeau onto it, slips, loses out to Marc Viduka. Viduka, who's been as good as anyone in the Celtic side so far, through for Mark Burchill. Burchill goes round Coupet, crashes to the ground, and it's a yellow card for Burchill for diving. It's applauded by the home support. The Celtic supporters can't believe it. Burchill had rounded Coupet. He claims he was tripped. It looked as if he could have stroked this into the back of the net, put through by the touch from Viduka. And this was the crucial moment. Was there contact? The referee clearly thought not.
I don't know why, if he wanted to dive, why he would have, but I don't think he did. I think he definitely got clipped. Maybe made it look a little bit more than it was, but I thought he definitely got touched because he's gone round the keeper, and I think he's got a great chance of scoring. Why would you want to go down in that situation? I think the referee's been very, very harsh with that decision. I feel probably, I don't know if it was just outside the box, you have to say, but the keeper really should have been off as well, and I think Celtic have been hard done to there.
Looks like a great escape for Lyon with 23 minutes gone. There looked there to be some contact as Burchill went through and goalkeeper Coupet.
The good thing from Celtic's point of view though, Rob, is that a couple of occasions already Mark Burchill has got beyond them. There's a book in there as well now. But I think that Mark Burchill's got beyond them, and I think that it's shown that if Lyon push up, there could be opportunities for him. His pace has troubled him, even just coming on for 7-8 minutes already. That he's actually getting in behind the Lyon defence.
That's Bernard Lacombe, the Lyon coach. Those of you of a certain vintage will remember when he played as a bustling centre forward for France, capped 38 times. Now trying to guide Lyon further forward in Europe. Carteron's header away. He's the player who's just been booked for the challenge of Malbranque, and it's clear that Lyon have marked down Malbranque for special attention, never wanting to give him any time on the ball. Alan Stubbs defending well for Celtic. Offside flag is up against Marc Viduka. Advantage being played for Lyon. Doesn't amount to much of an advantage for them. Alan Stubbs taking no chances, turns the ball out of play. No goals, 25 minutes gone in this Uefa Cup second round tie. Tony Vairelles, good control, but not a good flick. Intercepted by Marc Viduka. Trying to turn away from Serge Blanc, but he's lost possession. Blanc trying to pick his way down the touchline. Grounded in the tackle of Jackie McNamara. No free kick. Dhorasoo Haven't seen too much of him as a threatening force for Lyon so far, but he does force a corner kick there off Jackie McNamara, and Celtic won't want to take their eyes off him for a split second.
No, I think they've mapped him pretty well so far. Paul Lambert has been very, very close to him, and he looks like a player, if you give him space, he could hurt you.
In goes the corner kick. Alan Stubbs takes charge, heads it clear. In from Blanc, and the header from just inside the box by Sonny Anderson. He tried to direct it towards the far post. It was a good delivery on the cross, it was pacey, and the head flick from Anderson not too far away. But Celtic have dealt pretty well so far with the twin strike threat of Vairelles and Anderson. Good interception by Paul Lambert. The flick for Burchill. Lambert again, doing the fetching and carrying in the midfield, at which he's so good. Wearing the Celtic captain's armband as well tonight. It's a foul against Blanc for the challenge on Burley. Craig Burley takes it himself. It's a good delivery as well to Moravcik. In a threatening position, Moravcik tries to find a way through between two Lyon players. The gap fails to open up, and Patrice Carteron strides clear. Back to Dhorasoo, twice capped by France. A lot of competition for the role of creative midfielder in the French national side. Delmotte awaits to take the throw. Vairelles holds it up for Blanc. Poor ball in. Here Riseth stood firm after his first touch didn't look too clever. That's Blanc. And looked for a moment as it might have taken a touch off Tebily. It didn't, and it's a goal kick.
Certainly looks like a confident player, Blanc. I mean, he's been very prominent in the game so far, either being fouled by Moravcik or else also putting in some strong challenges himself. Likes to swing the ball in with his left foot, and having a shot there from 40 yards shows you maybe he is capable. He must have done it before if he was going to have a go there, so he looks a decent player. But Celtic have kept their shape very well in the midfield. The three in there sitting in that midfield area have done a good job so far, just using the ball quickly. They're another example of it there. Burley to Lambert and out to the wide area.
Again, we've just seen a great demonstration of the ability of Olivier Tebily. Some more superb defending from him, and Celtic need that to continue. Burley for Viduka, away from Brechet. Still not Viduka, fouled. No doubt about that one, surely, despite the protests of Florent Laville. And an interesting situation this, which might be well set up for the left foot of Lubo Moravcik.
Yeah, there is possibilities there. You've also got Craig Burley, who can hit a good ball if they open up the wall and just square it to him to hit, and Alan Stubbs as well, who we know is good at what Celtic do like. Although Moravcik is a very, very good left-sided player, he's both. They play with both feet, can hit these free kicks with both feet. They don't have a real natural left-footed player on their side. Coupet dancing along the goal line. It's Lambert's effort, and it will have to be retaken. It's skimmed the side of the net from Lambert, just aiming at that tiny little gap at the near post. But the wall clearly was not sufficiently far back. It was good the referee let them have a practice as well, you know, see if it works again. But the goalkeeper will be looking for this time. He's having a bit more attention to his wall on that left-hand post this time, because Paul Lambert almost squeezed it in. I think we'll try something different here though.
It looks like the touch from Lambert for Lubo Moravcik. Good effort and good save by Coupet. What a good save that was, because it was powerfully struck from Moravcik, and it was low down when it was difficult to get to.
It was a tremendous strike by Moravcik. As I said, he's not had the best and the most effective of games so far. I think Celtic would look for a lot more from him, because that's what he's capable of. That firepower, terrific ball.
Now comes the corner kick from Moravcik, swerving in wickedly. Craig Burley's effort, and almost for Mark Burchill in the packed penalty box, with the ball ricocheting around. And these are encouraging moments for Celtic.
what we consider a half chance. Keeper makes a bit of a mess of it, I thought, there, just punching it out. Big Burley fired it in first time, half ball. It really could have done anything, taking a deflection. Ball broke to Burchill, and from a tight angle, it looked as if it was easier to put it past the other side of the goal than putting it right across goal. But nevertheless, good work from Celtic. They must get a bit of confidence from that. They've managed to create a couple of openings and at least made the keeper work.
The French television director there was dwelling on the effort from Malbranque, and the more angles you see it from, the better a shot it looks and the better a save it looks as well. That was superb from Coupet to palm that away to safety, and Celtic have certainly threatened an attack, and so far looking reasonably solid at the back, having recovered from the shell shock early on of losing Larsson with a broken leg. Sonny Anderson forcing the ball in, collected by Paul Lambert. Hamley squares it to Jackie McNamara, takes a touch of Delmotte. Celtic throw. And just about 7 minutes to go to half time. Eric Blanc making notes, and John Barnes will be happy with the way things have gone so far, putting aside the heartbreak of losing Larsson. And they certainly don't want Mark Viduka injured. Took a blow in the back, and Celtic had a free kick. Brechet, the youngster, made the challenge. Mark Burchill has looked very lively since he's come on for Larsson, and there was that moment of controversy when he was booked for diving at the edge of the penalty box, as he looked pleadingly towards the referee for a penalty. In went Stubbs on Anderson, flicked on by back for Carteron. Loves getting forward, missed by Anderson, almost ran through for Vairelles. Tony Vairelles gets another chance, onto the right foot. The curling effort goes wide, tried to curl his foot around it, and he looked for Jonathan Gould's far post. This, from a Celtic point of view, was a pretty happy ending.
Yeah, they look a dangerous front too, there's no doubt about that. Vairelles is sharp, he likes to take people on. Anderson is probably more of a penalty box striker, is also showing his qualities. It's just a matter of cutting out the service to them. Celtic really need to get quickly to the wide areas and stop the ball coming into them, because if they can't get the service, they're not going to do a lot. But Celtic at the moment are actually quite comfortable in those areas and stopping it, but they have to do a little more.
Played first time by Malbranque for Burchill, and Coupet read it well out of the penalty box to retrieve the situation. It's a good early ball, utilising the pace of Burchill. Scotland international and featured in the matches against Bosnia and Lithuania. And surely he'll have a part to play in the forthcoming Scotland-England matches as well. Delmotte through for Dhorasoo. Alan Stubbs sticking tightly to him. Violeau, Vairelles, Sonny Anderson, and he was well closed down there. Mjallby was out very quickly to shut down the shooting opportunity of Anderson, and that meant it was well off target.
It shouldn't really be a problem having him shooting into that set of distance, but you have to close them down quickly, as they did there. Can't afford to just sit back and let them have a free shot at goal.
I don't think he was too impressed by the looks of it. Sonny Anderson, ex of Marseille and Monaco and Servette and Switzerland as well, and more recently Barcelona. And it took £12 million to prize him away from the Nou Camp, French record. As Richard was saying earlier on, he's won the title in 4 different countries: Brazil, Switzerland, France and Spain. And looking for another French title this season with Lyon, and they're certainly well in the frame at this stage, looking to add European success to their domestic performances. Burchill trying to link with McNamara. Danger mopped up by Violeau, through for Vairelles. Alan Stubbs, all he's done is set up Sonny Anderson. He was open, McNamara was alongside. Now Delmotte. No way past Jackie McNamara, who may well be playing himself into the Scotland squad, back into the Scotland squad with his recent first team showings. It's another good challenge, and McNamara's taken a knock as he halted Blanc's progress down the touchline.
I think he just came through and caught his knee there, and McNamara was just pushing the ball out, and definitely, they don't want to lose another player at this stage through injury, that's for sure.
So more concern in the Celtic dugout area. That's Serge Blanc waiting to take the throw-in, and the worrying sight for Celtic, not for Bernard Lacombe, is that Jackie McNamara has just been loaded onto a stretcher and taken over the touchline. So immediately John Barnes in the opposite dugout has thoughts of more reorganisation. Having already lost Henrik Larsson just for tonight for some considerable time as well. Blanc's throw into Vairelles. Delmotte, he was always leaning back as he struck the shot, and never looked likely to be a problem for Jonathan Gould.
They've had a few efforts, but most of them have been from distance, 20 yards and beyond, and they can still score from that distance, there's no doubt about it, but it's less trouble if Celtic can force all their efforts from that sort of area, but they've had to reorganise a bit at the moment with the injury. Craig Burley has gone into the right back slot at the moment to fill in for Jackie McNamara, and will drop Mark Burchill over virtually into the right side of midfield, so at the moment Viduka is just playing up front his own.
So Celtic momentarily down to 10 men, less than 8 minutes of the regulation first 45 left, and Celtic having done so well, these are important moments. No lapse can be contemplated. Jackie McNamara comes back on, that's good news for Celtic, but they have a free kick to defend here. It's about 40 yards out. Sonny Anderson, I think, was having a thought about having a crack at goal from there, has had second thoughts. Everyone behind the ball for Celtic. Violeau stands over the ball, and Carteron alongside him. The referee says get on with it. Jonathan Gould waits. It's Carteron's shot, blocked by the wall. Celtic push out. The angled ball from Brechet. Tebily's header away, back in from Dhorasoo. Sonny Anderson, again Tebily blocks it. Riseth gets it away. Violeau, Dhorasoo, early ball in, and the flashing header was from Anderson. But he's been pretty well policed so far by the Celtic defence, and as yet you wouldn't say he's had too serious an effort on goal.
No, it's not an easy heading chance. It's one of those, most of the time he's getting glancing headers. He's good at coming across in front of defenders though, and it's the pace of the cross that's cutting out the big centre-backs of Celtic there. It's just dropped in an area. He comes round the front. It's very difficult for Alan Stubbs and Oliver Tebily to get to the cross, because it's always going to favour the striker.
John Barnes screaming instructions from the touchline, wants concentration to be maintained. We've played more than 39 minutes, still no goal. Tony Vairelles pushes it down the line for Jacek back, the pole. Corner kick is his. And all bar Burchill head back into the penalty box for Celtic. Anderson marked closely by Tebily. Corner kick fired in. Celtic with plenty of height at the back. And the ball breaks out for Burchill from Moravcik. Desperately chasing after it. The ball out of play, and it's a Lyon throw. Dhorasoo all the way from right to left. Now Blanc. Vairelles back alongside him. Gets it back from Sonny Anderson. It's a good run from Vairelles, but again it's strong man Tebily in the back for Celtic. He's done some very impressive things so far. Chested down by Burchill for Viduka. Laid back for Lambert. Now Moravcik, Vidal Riseth up alongside. Pushes the ball too far ahead, gets a second opportunity, but offside against Marc Viduka. As the ball cannoned off Riseth, the flag was up against the Australian striker.
It's a good bust. We've seen very little of Riseth going down the left-hand side at all. He's been sitting in there, trying to keep the back four intact. They're trying to get down that side. But that was a little opportunity, a nice slip pass into him from Malbranque. And he just lost possession, he just overhit it, and he was caught out, and the ball broke. Well, I think Marc Viduka was just standing in offside position.
It looked there as if Marc Viduka actually read it very well, and it was a marginal decision. Tebily's clearance, too strong for Viduka, didn't bother moving for that. It was well away from him. 3.5 minutes to go to half-time. These Celtic supporters will be examining their watches, and they'll know the first half about to come to an end. They're a lot happier than their counterparts among the home support. Their side struggling for supremacy, and it's been Celtic who have looked the more dangerous attacking side. And all the more amazing that is considering the absence of Henrik Larsson. Manners ball forward deflected. Serge Blanc played outside the line. Celtic will be fairly happy with a goal of straw to take in to the dressing room at half-time, but this could well have been even better for them. It's a foul on Paul Lambert. Violeau, the offender. As commanding as ever, Lambert. The pass is always well thought out by Lambert. This time it's for Malbranque. Gets a second chance. Viduka didn't quite know where the ball was there. Malbranque surprised that he kept possession. Dhorasoo missed by Vairelles. Took his eye off it. The ball skidded through his legs. Mjallby beyond Viduka for Burchill. Carteron turns it back to Coupet. Backs header. Vairelles under pressure from Tebily. Lambert slips it across for McNamara. Knocked down the touchline, nobody there for Celtic. He's seen a lot of the ball, fired in towards Vairelles. Troubled Tebily that time, but Riseth was covering in behind. Viduka challenging under the bouncing ball. Blanc gets it away, but straight to Lambert. And again Paul Lambert. Dhorasoo intercepted. A quick dancing feet. Too good for Marc Viduka. Violeau. Delmotte chasing willingly, but didn't have the pace there to get after it.
He's very sharp, Dhorasoo. He's got such quick feet at times. 3 minutes of time added on in this first half, obviously due to the sad injury to Henrik Larsson, but Dhorasoo, you don't mind him if he's going to do it in the midfield area like that. That's not going to be a big problem to Celtic. What you really don't want him is round about the edge of your box, and where I think it could be really troublesome.
Tony Vairelles' touch, clever one. He was fouled as well. Back to Dhorasoo it went. Delmotte, early ball in. Sonny Anderson gets there before Tebily. Turned across goal. Mjallby, lucky that back wasn't closer. Now Celtic counter with Malbranque. It's a poor ball from Malbranque. He's really not been himself in this first half. That's safely through for Jonathan Gould, but we really would have expected more tonight from Malbranque, back where he enjoyed such success, and the country enjoyed such success with Saint-Etienne. But apart from the free kick, which was superb, he really hasn't done an awful lot of damage to Lyon.
Well, he hasn't. I think that's the disappointing thing. They need a bit more secure possession from Malbranque, maybe a bit more creative play. He's a player, as I say, who doesn't have any defensive responsibilities, although he's coming deeper at times to help pick it up. But he's certainly somebody, if he gets his game going, who could be a real match winner for Celtic.
Mark Burchill mixing it and wins the free kick. In from Lambert, Alan Stubbs is up, knocks it back across. Nobody there for Celtic. And we're into the second minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Goalless in Lyon. And an impressive showing from Celtic so far. Violeau bursts from the midfield. Gets it back from Sonny Anderson, intercepted by Jackie McNamara. And with the presence of mind to flick it into Craig Burley. Burley almost making a mistake. But it wasn't too serious for Celtic. Celtic content at this stage to keep possession and make Lyon do the running. Jonathan Gould's clearance, Violeau. Again Tebily there before Anderson. Sonny Anderson has not enjoyed the attentions he's had from Olivier Tebily one little bit. I wonder if Tebily is inspired at returning to France, where he played before joining Sheffield United, because his showing here has been very important to Celtic. Nearly 2.5 minutes of stoppage time gone. We can expect just about another 30 seconds. Jacek back through for Tony Vairelles. Tebily keen to let the ball run. Vairelles has not kept that in. And he claims, the Frenchman, that he was being pushed off the ball by Tebily as he tried to get after it. Tebily desperate to let it run for a goal kick. And Tebily gets the benefit of the doubt here, as his feet went from under him as well. And this was a heart-stopping moment, but clear from that angle that Vairelles did not keep the ball in. Last attack of the half, possibly for Celtic. Burchill against Laigle. Malbranque for Riseth. Malbranque being whistled and jeered by the French fans almost every time he's in possession, but he's in among friends now with the Celtic supporters, indicating they're not worthy. Riseth, clever ball for Viduka, found some room. Lost his footing there, Mark Viduka, didn't help his chances. And that's the half-time whistle. And it's goalless in the Stade de Gerland. And a dramatic first half for these Celtic supporters, who were shocked and stunned as Henrik Larsson was stretchered off with a broken leg after just 14 minutes of the match. Celtic have nullified the threat of Dhorasoo and his strike partners pretty well, and it's really they who've been creating the chances. There was a moment when Mark Burchill, on as a sub for Larsson, appeared to be tripped by Coupet, the goalkeeper, as he burst into the penalty box. But all he got for his troubles was a booking, and then a free kick from Malbranque, which produced a fine stop from Grégory Coupet, the Lyon goalkeeper. Celtic have had the best of it in the first half, but have to settle for a 0-0 scoreline. Gordon.
I think Celtic have played very well. They've had the better of the first half, although it has to be taken into account they've had the sad loss of Henrik Larsson with that serious injury. Mark Burchill has come on and done very, very well. He's looked sharp. He's been a real danger getting in behind Lyon defence, and I think that he could maybe get something from this game. A bit unlucky, I thought, to be booked, because I don't see why he would have possibly gone down there when he'd already taken on the goalkeeper and gone past him when it was a scoring opportunity. But Celtic have been pretty tight in defence. They've kept most of the opportunities from long range. A couple of flicked headers from Anderson, you have to say, but in the main they passed the ball pretty well. The pitch isn't the best, but I think Celtic can be very happy with their first half performance.
It's difficult to take your mind off that sickening moment in the first half when Henrik Larsson broke his leg, but Celtic have managed to do so in a very professional manner, and at half-time it's Lyon 0, Celtic 0. The job is just half done for Celtic. Much to admire about the way they played in the first 45 minutes. But they'll know that they've got a big job on their hands. They may deserve to be in the lead, but it's still level at 0-0 as Mr. Timmink from Holland gets the match restarted. And Lyon will hope in the second half to create better scoring opportunities in front of Jonathan Gould. Celtic have defended so well, not just as a back four, but with the players in front as well, keeping things tight. No one's played better defensively for them than Olivier Tebily. His clearance finds Blanc. Vairelles tries to work it on. It was Tebily's tackle. Tony Vairelles' shot straight at Jonathan Gould. Lugo Moravcik touched the ball away from Carteron. No free kick despite his tumble. Back to Anderson. Violeau. It's Blanc with a shot, well wide. He can shoot from there all night long as far as Jonathan Gould is concerned.
Yeah, Blanc's been a danger coming in that left side. Certainly look as if they're very motivated at the moment, Lyon, to go and try and get something early in this second half and put Celtic under pressure. They probably feel it's in the dressing room. The manager probably thinks they've been a bit too comfortable, Celtic, in controlling the game.
Mark Burchill has played very well since he's come on as replacement for Henrik Larsson. He's getting some tough stuff from the Lyon defence, coping with it well. His control's been good, his pace has been good. But Paul Lambert's pass wasn't good.
Yeah, I think even if Moravcik had made the run that Paul Lambert wanted him to make, he probably wouldn't have got on the end of that. But they forced Lyon into a corner, and at least they can go and press eyes and squeeze from the throw-in.
Interception by Moravcik, getting in the way of the pass intended for Carteron from Dhorasoo. Good play from Viduka. 3 white shirts around in there to try to stifle the threat. Well up Olivier Tebily to win the header. Mjallby works it onto Moravcik. Chipped over the top for Mark Burchill. Finds an offside position. But it was inventive stuff again. Well found by Moravcik.
Makes such good runs, Mark Burchill, that as soon as that ball went to Moravcik's feet, he made his mind up with a little dart in behind, and although he just got offside there, I don't think that it was actually Lyon were trying to catch him offside. I think it just unfortunately he went a bit early. But if he keeps doing that, I just feel he'll get some sort of reward at some stage, and maybe get a one with the keeper again, and this time he might just score it.
I just wonder whether Lugo Moravcik is a bit over eager to impress tonight. It's just not happening for him so far. Usually so calm on the ball and so deadly on the ball, but tonight he's taken a bit of stick from the home fans, and there's been a lot of media attention on him prior to this, and so far he hasn't delivered, apart from that free kick which might well have broken the deadlock in the first half. Serge Blanc again surging forward, watched all the way by Craig Burley. It was Jackie McNamara who made the interception. Mark Viduka holds the ball up under pressure from Jeremy Brechet, just 20 years old, the France under-21 international. He's struggling to cope with the power of Viduka. Mark Viduka, 11 goals in 10 games this season, and the Celtic career reads 19 goals in 20 games started, which is an incredible strike rate. This transfer having taken so long to happen. Riseth flicked that in for Moravcik. Bodies were tumbling, and a free kick given to Celtic. The drumbeat goes on from the Lyon supporters, but in large parts of the stadium they've been pretty much silenced. Celtic having the upper hand. In goes Viduka. And went Mjallby as well. There's Tebily's challenge. Free kick given against it. But you certainly can't fault him for attacking the ball. And all pals with Sonny Anderson. The second highest paid player in French football, Anderson. £27,000 a week, up there with Gordon Smith. Only Fabien Barthez, the French national goalkeeper, earns more than Anderson. Here's another big earner, Tony Vairelles. Flicked on by Violeau for Carteron. Good run forward. Back goes Malbranque, doing his defensive duties. Still hobbling after making that challenge. Trying to run it off. Carteron back to Violeau. Vairelles. Violeau again, he was winding up for the shot. Mjallby got it clear. Marc Viduka. Lovely little dummy there, which took out back. Still Marc Viduka. Strong on the ball. Good touch, but it was well read, that. Good interception by Blanc. Dhorasoo. Too much on the pass from Blanc, and lovely bit of tidying up from Alan Stubbs. Right in front of those Celtic supporters on the far side. 3,500 have made their way to France. And they would certainly settle for this scoreline at Celtic Park in 2 weeks' time. Sonny Anderson's effort from long range. Jonathan Gould dived at it, but I think that was purely precautionary. He was fairly happy that the shot was swinging wide.
I don't think that really worried John Barnes an awful lot, to be honest with you. The fact is that long range, I think that Laigle might get a few more minutes out of this game, and I think that they might just change him over, because he is limping a little bit. He's drifted into a left-sided position there, and he's not his most effective. He's good when he goes wide, but he's always better coming from centre out to wide. I think that the warming up is always better at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if they take off Malbranque, put Peta on there, and get a fresh pair of legs on the left-hand side. At least they can go and attack players down there.
Yep, still hobbling slightly is Malbranque. Lambert's free kick, floated in for Alan Stubbs' header. Dangerous one, cleared at the edge of the 6-yard box by Jacek back. Alan Stubbs can be very important at set pieces. Jonathan Gould's clearance sliced, and despite Marc Viduka's flying effort, Serge Blanc didn't run for the throw. Now Lyon are about to make a change, and on for them comes Malbranque, the 19-year-old midfield player, and he's on as a straight swap for Jacek back the pole. Some thought that Malbranque might have started the match, but he's involved now. Same age as Mark Burchill. Easily cut out there by Jackie McNamara. The run forward from Delmotte. He tends to telegraph exactly what he's up to, and it makes it an easy job for a player of Jackie McNamara's pace. Blanc looking for options in the area as he hurls in the throw, and Alan Stubbs returns it with interest. Again Blanc. Delmotte tried to get there. Now Violeau. Vikash Dhorasoo. In towards Vairelles, got the header. Spectacular clearance by Malbranque. Violeau took his eye off it. Marc Viduka, 1 against 3, but appearing alongside is Mark Burchill, and in some room on the right is Craig Burley. It runs through for Mark Burchill. Here's the chance for the goal. Tugs it wide. What a chance that was. Burchill went through. Burley was through as well alongside him. It was deflected, the ball from Viduka off Violeau, and as Burchill could see the whites of Coupet's eyes, he tugged it wide.
Yeah, great run by Burchill, just timed it perfectly, got himself in exactly the sort of position that you expect him to finish from, but just snatched that a little bit. He'll be very disappointed with that. Should always hit the target. He won't have to be told that, of course, but what a chance for Celtic to get a vital away goal.
What that proves yet again, though, is the fallibility of the Lyon defence. It was something John Barnes has been speaking about for the last couple of weeks. Very, very impressive in attack, but they can be opened up in defence. Celtic have done it several times already tonight.
Exactly. I thought at some stage that Burchill was going to get one of those sort of opportunities, and we're just going to have to hope now he at least gets another one, because I felt they would go through and maybe finish, but didn't do it on that occasion.
We apologise to those of you of a nervous disposition for having to watch Paul Lambert with his shorts almost off. Wrestling for possession in midfield is Mjallby. As well, works it on to Malbranque, quickly in to Mark Burchill. Little darting run again, cut out by the challenge of Laigle. Tebily standing firm. Anderson keeps up his position through the middle as Dhorasoo tries to work it towards him. This is where Lyon can be so dangerous, the triangle between Vairelles and Anderson and Dhorasoo. There's a looping cross in, headed away by Riseth. That was a good challenge from Lambert, which meant that Tony Vairelles couldn't get much of a shot at it. And yet again, Lambert does a little bit of invisible work. Sometimes you don't see a lot of the things he does, but he was very important there as the attempt on goal came to nothing. Laigle. Now Philippe Violeau. Tony Vairelles. No change being given by Tebily. And covering inside is Mjallby. Now Lambert. Burley can't control it. And the challenge was from Jackie McNamara against Christophe Delmotte. And it's a French throw. Anderson. And well, it seemed then as if the referee responded to Anderson's appeal for a free kick to be given. The referee didn't seem too interested until the Brazilian screamed in his left ear.
Yeah, it did look that way. I think that he was almost like appealing to him that he was body checked and stuff. So it gives him an opportunity. For the one or two shots from that sort of range so far haven't caused Celtic any problems, but from these sort of set pieces is the real danger.
There's the view from the goal net of Jonathan Gould. Packed penalty box. The ball blocked well by the wall. It was Malbranque who got it away. Another free kick given and quickly taken. Dhorasoo deflected in. Carteron couldn't get on the end of it, nor could Anderson. Alan Stubbs clears, slips as he did so. Viduka, another mistake in the Lyon defence. Viduka holding the ball up, waiting for support to arrive. It's getting there now. Lovely ball through from Viduka to Burchill. Back in for Viduka, trying to pick his way through the tackles. Now Mjallby. Burchill again sweeps it out wide, and unlucky there that there was just too much on it for Malbranque. He applauds the idea because Mark Burchill was trying to knock the ball out of that busy central area and find Malbranque in some room. It was a fantastic break from Celtic. I mean, you could see the number of people that got up to support it. Viduka did really well to hold it. Mark Burchill was involved as well, but really have to say that the people that got forward, Mjallby was up, Burley was up to support it, McNamara was even coming up the field, and the Malbranque out wide, but they just couldn't get the ball into a real goal-scoring opportunity. Here comes Serge Blanc again for Lyon. Tony Vairelles, tackled by Jackie McNamara, not allowing him to get turned. Now Dhorasoo through to the feet of Sonny Anderson. The back heel, Malbranque. Anderson again takes a spectacular and a theatrical tumble at the edge of the area. Well, if Mark Burchill was booked in the first half, should that not have been a yellow card for Sonny Anderson there? If the referee feels that was not an infringement, Sonny Anderson appeared to be making the most of it. inconsistency there, surely, from Mr. Timmink.
Well, you just wonder whether they might wait till the game stops here, Rob, and do something about it. I mean, the game has flowed on since that situation.
The ball is dead now.
That answers that question.
No action taken against Sonny Anderson. And again, Celtic defended that very well. Threatening position. Alan Stubbs attacking the ball and wins a free kick as well, very bravely pushing out from defence. Malbranque, the offender.
They've defended very well, Celtic. I mean, I know they're doing it in numbers at times, but the organisation's been terrific. Having the 3 players sitting just in front of the back 4 has been a great help too, because that's meant that there's been very little space when their strikers come off of Stubbs and Tebily and trying to work an opening. They're running into Mjallby, Lambert and Burley, who are all doing a good job just sitting in front of them. But Stubbs is covering and experience has come through tonight. He's taken up some tremendous positions at times.
Serge Blanc in for Sonny Anderson, tries to get turned against Tebily. Again, Tebily stands firm, and that meant that the shot from Anderson was not troublesome for Jonathan Gould. Look at the way that Tebily handled this.
See experience of Paul Lambert as well there, who's come back in. He's decided not to leave his central defender in a 1v1 situation. It's not his responsibility, marking responsibility, but he made sure that he forced Anderson into a quick shot, and positive for Celtic, didn't really get hold of it.
I think Celtic are going to make a change shortly and bring Bobby Petta into the play, presumably as a replacement for Lubomir Moravcik. So they can't do so quite yet. Tony Vairelles for Lyon, the back heel for Sonny Anderson. Holds it up for Blanc. Back infield, a poor ball in though. Never with much hope of finding Dhorasoo. Johan Mjallby's lost it. Looked a bit sluggish there, Mjallby. Back in from Blanc, and Riseth can let it run. It's an error-strewn performance, this, from Lyon. Obviously going well in French domestic football. Just 2 points off the pace at the top of the table behind Auxerre. But there's been nothing too fluid about their performance so far. Although that goes down to Celtic's showing, and they have to keep it up. Anderson through, Vairelles, the back heel. McNamara came back in to the central area to get that clear. The menace is always there between Vairelles and Anderson, and Celtic have to remain watchful.
Once again, that's just great reading of the game. Jackie McNamara comes right across from his right back berth, and he sees the danger appear and clears it because he's just timed it perfectly, and he knows exactly what Lyon might be trying to attempt.
Foul given against Anderson for tugging at the shirt of Olivier Tebily. A lot of questions have been asked about Tebily in the early part of the season for Celtic. Some yet to be convinced as to whether he has everything it takes to be a top-class central defender, but he's done himself no harm tonight with his performance alongside Alan Stubbs and against 2 class acts. 18 minutes gone in the second half. Vairelles' touch, Dhorasoo, and Lyon take the lead, and it's Serge Blanc. A shot which gave Jonathan Gould no chance. Celtic had held out for more than an hour, and now incredibly they're 1 down.
Well, it was a magnificent shot, you have to say, and it was well worked again. I mean, the ball just played through there, and you see him coming onto it here. He smashes it superbly well. I mean, there have been very few openings for him. The shots have been from distance, but that's that quality of shot. I think it's just going through the legs of Craig Burley as well as he stretched to try and block it. That's maybe put Jonathan Gould off, but you can't take away from the quality of that strike. Celtic have defended really well. Just talking about it a minute or two ago, make sure there have been very few chances created, but it was a well-worked opening there. Dhorasoo was the man who, as I said before, if Celtic could keep him in midfield, it would be to their aid, because what happened there was he got the ball on the edge of the box, and as soon as a player of that ability picks up the edge of the box, they can beat people, then you're under pressure. But Celtic just have to keep going. They're playing well so far. I'm certain they'll get a chance.
Celtic, who've done nearly all the attacking in this game, find themselves trailing now by a 1-0. It was a fantastic finish, you would have to say, and Jonathan Gould could get nowhere near it. But Celtic might well. been 2 up by then. They do have as a free kick here. Coupet organises from beside the post. Lambert, Moravcik, Viduka struck the shot, and it rebounded off the wall. How can Celtic respond to what must be a hugely deflating moment for them? And now John Barnes will make the switch, which he's been promising to do in the last few minutes. On comes Bobby Petta as a replacement for Moravcik, and that goal for Lyon ended a spell for Celtic of 787 minutes without having conceded a goal. Now it's all to do for them, and immediately a chance for Petta, and Celtic wanted that to fall to a player who had at least one touch earlier in the game. Petta hasn't seen the ball so far, and that was an excellent opportunity to test out Coupet.
Yeah, it's a very poor effort that. I know it's his first touch and you must make an allowance for that, but that ball's broken to him in the front of the goal, and Carteron had committed himself totally to throwing himself in, and even if Petta had delayed his shot, he's quite a simple task just to carry the ball forward and try and at least hit the target and bring a save out the keeper, but it was a pretty woeful effort from about 16-17 yards.
I think Bobby Petta could quite believe what was happening to him so soon onto the pitch, and not much doubt that he really should have dealt with that a whole lot better. Now Lyon threatening again, Sonny Anderson trying to find a way through, Johan Mjallby's tackle, free kick given, and you can see what that goal has done to the Lyon players. An injection of life about them now, a spring in their step. A match in which they were having to play very much second best to Celtic, and Johan Mjallby's argument here is that he's won the ball. Anderson may well think about striking the free kick himself. Violeau alongside, and everyone behind it for Celtic in front of Jonathan Gould. It looks very much as if Violeau is going to touch it for Anderson. It's Sonny Anderson, and the shot's blocked. Celtic now move out. Brechet back in. Tebily's clearance up towards Mark Viduka. Brechet won it though. Malbranque, the substitute, and Dhorasoo, who created the only goal so far. Malbranque again. Looks to have made a difference to Lyon. Steve Malbranque, the teenager, alongside Dhorasoo, looking altogether more creative now. That's him, trying to prod the pass in towards Anderson. Stubbs cleared. Now Petta. Still surely be reflecting on that chance which came his way a couple of minutes ago. Riseth clears. Carteron. I get the feeling it's looking better now for Lyon. Violeau in field. The goal scorer Blanc. Vairelles beaten in the air by Tebily, another firm header. Jackie McNamara pumps it over the touchline.
You can see Lyon have had a little surge of confidence here from the fact that they've got themselves 1-0 in front. They're starting to pass the ball about, they're making runs forward from defensive areas. I think Celtic, just have to maybe weather the storm for a little while here while they try and build on that lead and put the tie beyond Celtic, even going back to Glasgow in a fortnight. But I think Celtic, it's very, very important that they do push forward when they can. I think they've got to try and score a goal. I think nowadays in European football, as we've seen, you've got to try and get that vital away goal, and Celtic have had chances tonight. I'm sure they can get them again if they keep playing and getting forward.
Burchill's exchange with Viduka. Brechet across to make the tackle, but it's looking a good partnership. Viduka and Burchill. It's been very threatening. Sadly for Celtic, it hasn't yet produced a goal. Certainly not for want of effort and invention. Celtic have every cause at the moment to feel hard done by, trailing 1-0, having had so much of the game. But what they can't afford to do is feel sorry for themselves. They have to work their way back into the dominating position. As Tony Vairelles threatens again for Lyon. Vairelles against Tebily. And that's a goal kick.
Pace a real asset for Tebily. I mean, Vairelles obviously a quick player, but he's got the strength and the pace to keep with him there when Vairelles trying to cut across him and make sure that the defender can't get back to him. But he's done that a few times, Tebily, and he's done it very well. But the front two still look a threat. There's no doubt about that. Vairelles and Anderson are, a good combination together. They seem to combine almost telepathically at times, but this is the first season having played together. I've just been bought by the club in the summer, but there's no doubt they're two quality players in those two.
Words for Mark Viduka and a wry little smile as well from the Dutchman. Mr. Timmick, the referee. Less than 20 minutes left in France. Celtic trailing to that spectacular effort from Serge Blanc. And how they would love an equaliser to build the foundations for the second leg to come at Celtic Park in 2 weeks' time. They certainly deserve a draw, not much doubt about that. Peta, good skill. Lambert. Bobby Peta again. Lays it into Craig Burley, good touch. Good link up again between the central midfield two. McNamara's layoff fails to find Burley. Anderson to Vairelles. Anderson again. Menacing little run. Finally halted. Tebily losing out to Malbranque. Violeau. Blanc pushing forward again. Delmotte. Blanc eyeing up the cross. Blocked by Alan Stubbs. Concedes a corner kick.
It was a decent move down the left-hand side. If Celtic have had a problem tonight, it's when they're actually getting the ball, they've got secure possession, and they've given it away pretty cheaply on a number of occasions and put themselves back under pressure. They're giving the ball back to Lyon. At this level, once you win the ball, you should keep it a bit more and actually work the moves forward. But giving the ball away again has put them under pressure here.
4 in the box for Violeau to aim at. It's hit long beyond the far post, and Johan Mjallby could afford to let it run. Vairelles and Anderson threatening for Lyon. Certainly Viduka and Burchill have been hot to handle for the French defence. Lyon about to make another change. The skipper and last season's top scorer is about to come on. The club captain, that is, with Laigle wearing a captain's armband tonight. Forward from Brechet for Vairelles. Seem to be pushing Alan Stubbs. Now Anderson. Celtic did well to get back there. A combination of Riseth and Lambert eased away the danger after Stubbs appeared to have been bundled over in the aerial tussle. Dhorasoo, and he'll have to come back. And this was the moment when Anderson tried to burst through the middle. Lovely little touch with the right foot over the head of Tebily, and look at Paul Lambert making a lung-bursting run to get back. Now the switch will be made, and it's Tony Vairelles who's coming off. Doesn't look too chuffed at the prospect of heading off the field.
Taking a bit of a time, even the referees making him move a bit quicker. Obviously not happy at all to be brought off. And I'm not surprised. Caveglia, as you said, Rob, is a really experienced player, more grey hair than you and I, to be fair.
And that's saying something.
But
scored 17 goals last season,
yeah.
and he's also the club captain, and I think he feels pretty hard done by. But obviously when you spend about 16 million quid on your strike
that's
force,
exactly the point. They've spent an awful lot of money, and they need that return. They need to play them together. But Anderson and Vairelles have looked a good combination, and interesting to see if Caveglia and Anderson can link up as well.
Coupet, the keeper, who made that stunning first half stop from Malbranque, which looked as if it was bound for the bottom corner. Malbranque forward, first opportunity for Caveglia, looked to lash out with his hand as he went past Riseth. Riseth was left holding his face, seems to be okay now. Lambert, Stubbs to McNamara. Even a 1-0 deficit, Celtic will feel could well be turned round in 2 weeks' time, because they've certainly looked the better team away from home. A bit of wrestling between Malbranque and Riseth. Lyon coach Bernard Lacombe was almost the intermediary there to try and break things up. But an equaliser for Celtic would make them feel even more confident that they can make progress in this Uefa Cup competition. Lambert's pass intercepted by the industrious Anderson. All the way back through Violeau and Brechet to Gregory Coupet, signed from Saint-Étienne a couple of years ago. And Lyon will feel grateful to him. He might well have been off the park in the first half had he been red carded, as seemed a distinct possibility for what looked like a trip on Mark Burchill, but the decision went the other way, and on such turning points matches like this decided. Burley lifts it over the head of Dhorasoo for McNamara. Through from Mjallby. Burchill gets turned, tried to reverse that pass towards Viduka, couldn't find a way through. The idea looked sound. Now Blanc, the goal scorer. Dhorasoo, liable to pop up all over the pitch. Carteron, Lyon slowing the game down, keeping the ball, making Celtic work. Although you would think Lyon would feel a whole lot happier for Glasgow in 2 weeks' time if they had a second goal.
Yeah, well, it shows you they can make mistakes too in possession if Celtic go and squeeze. I mean, Celtic might be quite comfortable with 1-0 and feel a tight scoreline is good for the second leg, and it does seem good. But I think, as I say, so many times, as you know, Scottish teams have gone out for the lack of they're going to out basically on the away goal rule, and you do really feel that it puts you in such tender hooks in the home leg if you can't afford to lose a goal. And Celtic, as I say, a bit of trouble there with Tebily and Caveglia, but as I say, Celtic, I think would be better advised just to push forward and try and get something from the game. I'm certainly can get an equaliser here.
Well, you did tip it beforehand, so
I have to stick with that.
It wouldn't have anything to do with the money resting on it, would it? Tebily having an altercation there with Caveglia, and he speaks the language, so he has the advantage of being able to make his point to his opposite number. And clearly Tebily didn't care for the physical challenge which Caveglia was putting up. He's already tangled with Riseth and Tebily, and he's been on the pitch for a few minutes.
I won't tell Celtic fans, Rob, what your money was on for the scoreline.
Dhorasoo again. Gets it through to Malbranque. Back went Lambert. Yet again. Long ball from Jackie McNamara. Mark Burchill wins it with his head, but couldn't quite knock that down for Viduka.
I think Mark Burchill was entitled to expect Mark Viduka to react to that, I'm going for the header and winning it. He's flicked it into a dangerous area, and Mark Viduka just stood beside him. But if it had been the other way about, I'm certain Mark Burchill would have made at least force the defender back the way that he'd have chased it.
Not much more than 10 minutes left here. Celtic trailing by a goal to nil in a match which they might well have won. Still time though for them to get an equaliser, which they richly deserve. Alan Stubbs won a good header. Again, Caveglia posing a very physical challenge. Dhorasoo chested away by Tebily. Viduka strong enough to get turned. Good play. Bobby Petta, poor control. Loses possession when he should have had no great problems in keeping it for Celtic. Now the job of winning the ball back begins all over again. Malbranque, the teenager, and that's a 20-year-old Jeremy Brechet. Blanc aimed at Caveglia. His header for Anderson. Tebily under pressure. Good save, Jonathan Gould. Brilliant from Gould. And over the two legs. Could that be a save which might well get Celtic through? Tebily in trouble against Anderson. And superb reflexes from Gould to deny the Brazilian a goal.
Superb save. It was a chance that should never really have occurred. It came a bit too easy. Celtic not quite realising that the ball was going to be knocked into that dangerous area. Caveglia was only looking for one thing. The only thing he could actually do was head it over Tebily into that area behind him, and that he really should have been a bit more cover for Jonathan Gould, but he had to produce the save and he did so.
Played in by Blanc. Mjallby's lost it. And the shot from Malbranque is off target, but maybe signs in the performance tonight of Mjallby that he's short of top team match practice.
Yeah, he hasn't played a lot, but he's worked hard in there. He's gone and closed things down. He's been a physical presence that's made it difficult for Lyon to operate well in that midfield area.
Hopefully we'll get another chance at some stage to see that save from Jonathan Gould, which really was quite superb. Anderson in just the sort of positions in which he's dangerous and he's liable to flick the ball into the back of the net. He scored 3 in Lyon's last 2 league games, against Nantes and against Marseille. Serge Blanc, another long ball, probing at the Celtic defence. Tebily heads it clear. Dhorasoo chases. So does Bobby Petta. Wins it well in the tackle. And concedes the throw.
I was actually quite surprised that Bobby Pett actually getting the call before Reggie Blinker, who's on the bench. Rob, I thought that Blinker would have might have been the natural player to bring on when Marabchuk went off, but it seems to have gone out of favour again.
Caveglia beaten by Tebily, and Tebily again having an exchange in the local lingo with Caveglia. Not happy with what he presumably thought was a trailing foot from the striker as Tebily headed up the touchline. Gordon mentioned Bobby Petta there, and you reflect on lots of different little things from the match, and one of them will be a chance which fell to Petta immediately he was on the field, and the difference that might have made that Petta made more of the opportunity. Stubbs to McNamara. He's got plenty of room here to get forward. Through for Mark Viduka, just too strongly hit the pass. Mark Viduka had peeled off, he'd made a good run. It needed to be a softer pass.
Yeah, it was unlucky though. It was a nice move forward, and it shows you what Celtic are capable of doing when they get the passes going, when the runners and get forward. The support's there. All that required there was a slightly, as you said, Rob, a softer hit pass, and Matt Viduka would have been in. I do feel Celtic need to push up a little bit from the position. They're sitting slightly too deep, I think, at the moment. I think if they push on and force Lyon back, they may get more openings.
Malbranque as well. Here he is, the tiny little midfielder. Tebily goes back, ushers it towards the goal line, and he's conceded a corner kick, and Jonathan Gould telling him in no uncertain terms that he wanted that ball thumped upfield. Tebily looks very hopeful that he could trail it all the way to the goal line from well out.
Yeah, it looked as if Jonathan Gould could come and take it, but he maybe just felt that if he pulled himself out of position, that a foot just might wrap round it and get that ball back across goal, and then something would be gone. I think he just wanted him to knock it away for the throw-in.
Corner conceded in from Violeau. Back for Caveglia, had a wild swing at it at the edge of the area. Thankfully made little contact. Dhorasoo against Lambert, cuts in. Shot blocked by Mjallby. Viduka now against Brechet. Leaves the ball behind. Blanc tidies up. Applause for him from the home support. Rangers had the performance and the result last night at Ibrox against PSV. Celtic have certainly given the performance tonight here in Lyon, but sadly for them, sadly for Scottish football, the result not what it deserves to be for them. This tie is far from dead, that's for sure, but Celtic might have taken an even more encouraging result back home, but they'll have to watch here. This is just the sort of situation from which Lyon scored. It's Blanc in possession, blocked by Stubbs, cleared by Mjallby. The lumbering figure of Delmotte. It's Craig Burley's header away. It was a good one too because it found Bobby Petta. Surrounded by white shirts, turns it back to Riseth. Fairly aimless ball forward. And Lyon back in possession. 3 minutes plus stoppage time. That was pretty close to Burchill, the pass back from Carteron. It's been an engrossing UEFA Cup tie, this, and Celtic have got so much right. Lots of good performances from the players. Tactics have been good, but they haven't had any luck. Chances have been missed, and then came that sucker punch from Serge Blanc. Caveglia knocks it forward for Malbranque. Riseth has it, and Malbranque had him in a half Nelson free kick. Strong backing for Celtic from the thousands of supporters who've come here and seen their side cope very well indeed against the second best team currently in France. Alan Stubbs holds off Dhorasoo. Riseth trying to pick out Burchill. Violeau tidies up. Lyon now try to play some more possession football. Just over a minute now remaining of the regulation 90. Anderson has peeled off his main striking berth. Deflected the ball forward off Craig Burley. Mjallby. Burchill climbing high to get on the end of the ball with his head. Malbranque and offside fairly clearly against Caveglia. the rugged old campaigner on as Vairelles' replacement. Can Celtic find an equaliser in these closing stages? There were 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half, but this time it's to be 2 minutes, 2 extra minutes to be played, with the 90 minutes virtually up. McNamara's header back for Jonathan Gould. And a long kick out from Jonathan Gould, which is too long, all the way through to his opposite number, Gregory Coupet.
Yeah, there seems a reluctance of Celtic at the moment to push up. Since the lots to go, I think that they've had a mindset to sort of sit in and accept the fact that 1-0 wouldn't be a bad result. It might not turn out to be a bad one in the end up. We'll not know until a fortnight's time, but you have to say that they've not really been supporting things, even when the ball's been played forward. They haven't really got up to take a bit of a chance in order to get the goal. I think that they say that they're just going to settle for that result.
And the noise you're hearing in the stadium is those people, the Celtic supporters, in great voice, and they've certainly enjoyed most of what they've seen, with a couple of fairly glaring exceptions, one being the goal of Serge Blanc, and the second being the sorry sight of Henrik Larsson being stretchered off with a broken leg. We'll wait to find out how long he is likely to be absent from the Celtic team. It's a huge blow. He's been such a prolific goal scorer for them, and he does so much more as well, and so sad for him that his season is in tatters at this stage. Mjallby's pass finds Peta. Skidding the through ball, cut out by Brechet before it reached Burchill. Laigle. Up and under.
Yeah, maybe one last chance to go and pressurise here and get the ball in the box, get people up here, get them in the box, at least take a little bit of a chance to maybe get something at this very late stage.
This might well be Celtic's last chance to attack. Malbranque gets it away, only as far as Lambert. Carteron's clearance. McNamara. Sliced back to Jonathan Gould. And the goalkeeper put under pressure by the McNamara back pass. That's full time. Celtic have lost in the first leg of this UEFA Cup tie to the goal of Serge Blanc. A spectacular finish set up by Dhorasoo. His shot into the top corner had Jonathan Gould clutching at thin air, but Celtic so unlucky that 1-0 is the deficit that they have to take to Celtic Park in 2 weeks' time, because they did so well. They coped with the threat from Sonny Anderson and others, and they created lots of chances for themselves. Mark Viduka was outstanding up front. Celtic were lacking in luck as well. This man, Gregory Coupet, the Lyon goalkeeper, might well have been sent off in the first half, and Celtic might well have had a penalty at that stage. Chances weren't taken as well by Burchill and by Peta. But Celtic will still feel that this tie is there to be won. 1-0. They take to the second leg in 2 weeks' time. And the way they played tonight, with a full house Celtic Park behind them in 2 weeks' time, surely this tie can be turned round.
It certainly can. It's not the end of the world to lose 1-0, but I say in Europe nowadays we see so many situations where if you don't score away from home it becomes costly, and you can't say Celtic didn't have their opportunities to do that tonight. Mark Burchill had a couple, Bobby Peta without question had a good chance, the keeper has made a magnificent save, so Celtic can feel they acquitted themselves very, very well. Huge support they had with them tonight, and they seem happy at the moment. They've cheered their team off the field, but it was one that might have been better. That certainly was one I think that Celtic the worst got a draw from, but they've still got a chance in 2 weeks' time.
It's 16 years since Celtic last reached the third round of the UEFA Cup, but there's still hope that the record books can be rewritten despite a scoreline of Lyon 1, Celtic 0.